This video will cover my take on Gilthanes' Monkless Soul build for Liferoot Forest in Nightmare 4. This build is from his older guide. He no longer has this in the guide. I think he should have kept it in there personally, but he added a different build that used it a little bit from a monk. But in this case, you'll be using a Trapping Huntress with the Elemental Chaos Uber, a Walling Squire, a Frosty Apprentice, and a DPS Huntress with the Charged Shot Primary Sphere, Charged Primary Shot, Large Sphere, or the Ranged Large Sphere, and the 2 medium AA spheres. Because you'll primarily be using that DPS Huntress for AA. So we'll start with one wall right here. It's halfway between this tree and these mushrooms, which also is pretty much in line with that little post there. The next one over here, right in line with these mushrooms. And the final one, similar to my build, right here on this piece of debris. Now we will do the Frosty towers. Put these ones farther back than in my other build. I did a accompanying video of this where I played this entire build solo. And when the flying bugs come here, they will sometimes attack this this wall, and jump to these and kill these. You don't want that. Another change in my build from Gilthanes' build is I actually use 3 frost towers here instead of just 2. You could get away with using 2. I like having the extra DPS here for when the ogre comes. It's up to you. You might also move it over here if this is where your physical lane is and you need more help with the physical lane. Up to you. You can also omit it altogether and instead use some traps. You can get, I believe, 2 extra traps out of that if you don't place that there. So you'll put 2 on the right side here, 2 on the left, all these facing in towards the middle. Another one right here, kind of right across from this bush, and set so the left arc goes just along this pathway, but covers the actual mob path below. And your last Frosty Tower will go right here, facing in towards the middle. Make sure that it touches this wall. Now we'll do traps. We'll start with the Elemental Chaos Uber. So we'll start with the physical lane here. One difference in my build versus Gilthanes is I like 4 traps in front of the walls for extra DPS there. And then you can do 5 right here. This will catch books, and this one particularly is for burrowers. You might need to shift this if necessary. And same with this one, you might need to shift farther back or to the sides, depending on exactly where you put the wall and kind of what the enemies are feeling like at the time. That's mainly, you need to shift for the mini Maltheus guys. So once again, 4 in front of this wall. In the neutral lane, I'm using the Elemental Chaos Uber as well. I personally like to do this in like a half diamond, or not half diamond, sorry, half square. You can move this trap wherever you please. If you want it more up here, sometimes enemies will come up here and that'll be more of an issue. All up to you. That's where I do it. Play with it as you need it. Now I'll come to middle and do the explosive traps. 6 in front of the wall here. 1 right here, or either you can also do it here or here for burrowers. Figure out where you need it. These 2 go here because enemies like to group up here, especially on this kind of eggplant looking thing. It's a pretty big issue. That's why there are actually 2 there versus other builds of my own where I've only used 1. And another one down here to catch the mini Maltheus guys. This might need to move farther down or farther up depending on exactly where you put this wall. And finally, we'll put 5 traps right here. I use this pattern. You can put this one in the center if necessary, or you can even put it over here if you need more inner DPS. But I'll move it back to where I prefer it. So that's the basic build. I will switch over to my DPS Huntress real quick to go over what I talked about the spheres. I'm using the 10% and 20% anti-air spheres and the charged primary. I prefer charged primary when I'm soloing, because I get closer to the enemies and because I need to be repairing the walls myself. So I'll be up here, versus when I'm playing with a group, I'll be playing back here and getting more damage from the range sphere. So play it as you need it. It's important to note with this build, you will need to really heavily focus the air with yourself. Namely, against the flying kobolds. If you see a single enemy spawn in either the left up here they spawn, the far back there, or over there, it's probably a flying kobold. A tip for dealing with the middle is you attack them from right here so you're not staring in the sun and you can actually see what enemies are coming at you. On waves 5, you might get a double ogre mid. If that's the case, you really need to focus on getting an ogre down quickly so they don't walk over this wall. And on wave 7, you're guaranteed to have a double ogre mid, so you'll have to focus ogres then too. So just keep all of that in mind. As I said, there's another video that accompanies this that does a full playthrough from starting with the build all the way to the end where I successfully finish the map. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them, and I'll get back to you.